Most people move through life like passengers on a train, following the tracks laid out for them without ever wondering who built them or where they truly lead. They wake up, go to work, scroll through their phones, and repeat the cycle, rarely pausing to ask why things are the way they are. It's not necessarily a matter of intelligence. Some of the brightest minds in school, the ones who ace exams and climb the career ladder, never seem to question anything beyond what's required. They do what needs to be done, think only as much as they have to, and leave it at that. If you try to steer the conversation toward deeper topics like existence, purpose, or human nature, they either get bored, annoyed, or dismiss it altogether. But deep thinking isn't just for philosophers or intellectuals. Anyone can think deeply, yet most people don't, not because they're incapable, but because they've been conditioned by society, upbringing, and their own habits to avoid it. The truth is, deep thinking takes effort. It's mentally and emotionally draining, and worst of all, it doesn't always have a clear payoff. There's no immediate reward for questioning the meaning of life, no prize for wondering about the universe. So, people turn their focus to what's right in front of them, like their jobs, responsibilities, or entertainment. Why wrestle with existential questions when there are emails to answer and Netflix shows to binge? And then there's fear. Thinking deeply means facing uncertainty, and uncertainty is uncomfortable. It forces you to confront things that don't have simple answers. What if everything you've believed about life, success, or even yourself is wrong? It's much easier to take things as they are, to stay inside the safety of routine rather than wander into the unknown. From childhood, we're subtly taught not to question too much. Schools don't train people to think critically, they train them to obey. Memorize the facts, pass the test, follow the rules. There's little room for real curiosity. If you start questioning the system too much, you might realize that some of it doesn't make sense and that the drudgery, the routine, the endless cycle maybe isn't worth it. And that kind of thinking is disruptive. So, from an early age, we're encouraged to conform rather than explore. By the time we're adults, most of us have internalized this lesson without even realizing it. And then, there's the exhaustion. After a long day of work, people don't want to think deeply. They want to unwind, to escape. So, they turn to social media, movies, video games, things that require little effort. It makes sense, but it's also kind of sad. In 2024, nearly everyone has access to unlimited knowledge in their pocket, yet so many people hold on to completely incorrect opinions about things they could Google in seconds. You meet people who spread hate, misunderstand history, or believe in conspiracy theories when the answers are right there. But they never looked. They never questioned. Curiosity and intelligence go hand in hand, but deep thinking isn't just about IQ. It's about a mindset, a natural instinct to question, to seek understanding, to explore ideas. Some people are born this way, and some never do. Philosophers weren't necessarily the smartest people. They were just the ones who had time to sit and think. In today's fast-paced world, most people don't have that time, or rather, they don't make that time. Society doesn't reward deep thinking. It rewards obedience, efficiency, and productivity. Workplaces, schools, and even social circles often discourage questioning too much. Follow the system, play your role, don't make things complicated. And most people comply because it's easier that way. On top of that, modern life itself is designed to keep people from thinking too much. Our food, our water, our screens, all of it contributes to mental stagnation. People are exhausted, overstimulated, and distracted. The cycle repeats. Wake up, work, consume, sleep, survive. And before you know it, years have passed, and you haven't really thought about anything beyond what was necessary to get through the day. But some people, often those who've struggled, faced rejection, or felt like outsiders, are pushed toward deep thinking. Pain has a way of making you look inward. If life has been easy and comfortable, you might never feel the need to question anything. But if you've suffered, if you've been alone with your thoughts, if the world has ever made you feel like an outsider, then maybe you've been forced to ask the bigger questions. In the end, it all comes down to comfort zones. Deep thinking is uncomfortable. It forces you to challenge your beliefs, to consider possibilities you might not like. Some embrace that discomfort, knowing that's where growth happens. Others avoid it, seeing it as unnecessary or even dangerous. Everyone has a different threshold for how much they're willing to question, and most never go beyond the surface. But maybe you're different. Maybe you've always had that restless curiosity, that urge to dig deeper, to ask why when everyone else just accepts things as they are. If you've ever felt out of place for questioning too much, for thinking too deeply, for not being satisfied with surface-level conversations, know that you're not alone. The world might not always encourage deep thinking, but that doesn't mean it's not worth doing. So keep questioning, keep exploring, keep seeking, because the ones who dare to think are the ones who truly see.